Lesson 40, Section 1. In this presentation, we'll be introducing the pluperfect, the English past perfect, and looking at the active and middle and passive indicative forms. These are the tenses we have learned thus far. We are going to be covering the past perfect and the pluperfect, introducing them today. In English, we use the past perfect to describe past actions that took place before other past actions. For example, I noticed that she had forgotten her book. Both of these actions took place in the past, but the forgetting that she did took place before the noticing that I did. So it's prior to the first action described. The Greek pluperfect is used similarly. So again, rather than the perfect tenses have forgotten, we would translate this typically as had forgotten, had done something. Unlike the perfect, the pluperfect is a true past tense, so it is found with the augment, the past augment, the epsilon, etc. Let's take a look, starting with the perfect indicative active. So pepauka, I have stopped. And we're going to see some of the changes that take place in going from the perfect to the pluperfect. So first of all, as we just indicated, we're going to add the past augment, epsilon. And we're going to take a look at these endings because they're going to change slightly in each case. It's mostly going to be the vowels in them. And what we're going to see in the singular, at least, is a lengthening of the alpha here. To eta, and then we're also going to add a little iota in there. And in the plural, we're going to see a shift from the alpha to an epsilon. And that is effectively it for the pluperfect active. Epipauke, epipaukes, epipaukane. Note that in the singular, the accent shifts over. And again, a translation would be something like, I had stopped. We don't use the pluperfect much. In Greek, we use it even less, in fact, than we do in English. And when we do see it, we'll almost always be able to translate it in this way. Now, let us drop those endings. We're going to switch to the middle and the passive of the pluperfect. And for comparison purposes, we'll take a look at the kappa here that we see in the perfect stem, the normal perfect active stem. We're going to drop that, actually. And then we are going to look at the endings for the imperfect middle passive, the stuff in bold. So the main, the ta, the meta, sta, nta. These endings characteristic of the middle and passive in the imperfect. And we're actually going to add these same things onto our stem here for the pluperfect middle and passive. And the only exception, really, is the second person singular, where we are going to add a sa. Sort of like the oo, that's a contracted form of the same thing. But these are our forms for the pluperfect middle passive, and we might see a translation something like, I had stopped myself, or I had been stopped in the passive. So fairly straightforward, both of those. Translation not too difficult. Forms a little more difficult, but similar to ones we've seen, and the past augment is going to help us tell these forms apart from those of just the normal perfect tense. For the endings, you want to look at pages 63 and 65, the pluperfect active, and then the pluperfect middle and passive. Thank you.